What's up, my loves and fellow creatives? I feel like I haven't seen y'all in a year. We're going to go ahead and go over class that will be today. Thank you all for working with me on um, some stuff I had to get together for family, and I ended up not being available to get the class uploaded for Wednesday. So we're gonna have fun Saturday. I'm actually gonna be the one teaching class on Saturday, so that's a special treat. We'll go through this together. Like I said, this should be a 15-minute tutorial tops. This should be a 5-minute template for you, meaning that by the time you learn how to do this in our live session, or if you're in the standard membership, you watch the pre-recorded version, you should be able to change this template out in 5 minutes, okay? All right, so let's go. The first thing I want to do is go ahead and change out the photo here. So I'm going to right click on the photo. Oh, you know what? Let me make sure that you all can hear me. I didn't check to see if y'all could hear me first. I think you can. I'll give it a little minute because I know that there is a 15-second delay here. Good morning, Sonia. Good morning, Creatively, Tiffany, TMP Customs, Teresa, Paula. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so y'all can hear me. Good deal. All right, so let's go ahead and move on here. We're going to right click on the photo, go to photo 1, and I'm just going to extend my workspace here a little bit so I can see the layers, especially the names of the layers here. All right, and all I'm going to do is double click here on the thumbnail. And then I'm going to go to File, Place Embedded, and I will have an alternate photo for you. If you don't have one, I'm going to give you this grad photo here. But I want you to come to class with something that you can take and make immediately and sell it, okay? So you will have the images that I'm giving you. These are AI generated artwork, so you're welcome to use them for your mock-ups or whatever. But I want you to, if you have an image that's ready to go to Remove VG, go ahead and have the background removed out of the image so that it's ready to go, okay? So I'm going to hit Enter to lock in that transformation. Once I placed it, I'm going to turn off the eyeball of the image below. Now, if this was an image where I needed to fade off here, which I'm going to show you, we're going to, and I'm going to fade this off because the AI generated, I guess he has on knickerbockers and no socks, or maybe he doesn't have pants on at all. I don't know. AI is a little funny, and that's why you do have to learn how to edit it. All right, so let's go ahead and add a layer mask here, and then I'm going to grab my paintbrush, and I have a soft round brush. Usually I like to have a soft round brush, and then the size I like to be 800 pixels. Okay, and with that, I get a nice big brush that I can just fade off the bottom here, and then I don't have to worry about whether it looks like he has pants on or not. All right, so now that that's done, we can close out of this and hit yes to save. And it updates just like that. Now you also have an option to put a logo in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Let's double click on the logo area, and again we'll go File, Place Embedded. Let's go ahead and put the logo in there, and I'll give this one to you all, but essentially you want to have your own images ready to go. Okay, let's hit enter, locking that transformation. All right. So now when we close out and hit yes to save, update here. All right, so we have our logo, we have our photo. Now next what we need is to grab our colors here. So I'm going to grab the color picker tool on the left-hand side, also known as the eyedropper tool. And let's grab the red first because that'll be our primary color. And then once we grab it with the tool here, and if you move it around, hold down the mouse, it'll collect different pixels. I'm going to double click on the foreground color, add to swatches, and I'm just going to call that 1. If this is a specific school or a specific sneaker, you can name it the color of the sneaker. You can name it the color of that the school uses. That's fine there. I'm just going to hit 1 for simple purposes. We'll just do 1 and 2. And then it takes us back here to the color picker. I'm going to pick the second color. And I'm going to go ahead and add that one to swatches and call that color 2. Now we're just going to focus on 2 colors. The other colors will be basically black and white, but you can always go back and update those later. So now that I have my 2 colors, I'm going to hit cancel here. I have all that I need. And I'm going to go on to color number 1. Let's double click. And remember we said we're going to make that red. Now I'm going to duplicate the layer so that color number 1 is both of my alternate colors here. So I can go back and change it to the original. When I close out, I'm going to hit yes to save. Okay, and everywhere that I had the darker teal has now turned red. And for color number 2, I'll double click here. And then I'm going to duplicate this layer and we'll change that to the blue. Yes to update. And all right, already we pretty much have a ready to go design. So of course we may want to change the text and we may even want to change where the colors apply here. So in this case, you'll see that you have an option to change the colors out and which color is applying, like to the background here. If I wanted it just to show black here, we can make it black there. I think I'm going to keep it where it was just to keep it consistent. Let's go ahead and change out the text here. So I'm going to right click and go to text Daddy's World. Now I'll create an alternate version of this. So I'm going to right click on this folder. This is text Daddy's World. I'm going to duplicate the group and then I'm going to call this Congrats Grad now. So I'm typing in Congrats Grad. Okay. And we'll go ahead and hit OK. So I can turn off the text for Daddy's World. And I can open up the text or the folder for text Congrats Grad. And I'll right click on the word on the artboard here for Daddy's. Double click on the T so I can change that out. And make sure you all go ahead and install those fonts before class because it will definitely make a difference in your design if you have the appropriate fonts. Okay, so now I'm just going to type in congrats. All right, and then I don't even have to look in my layers for the next word. I'm just going to right click on the word here and I'll find it. So I'm looking for the word world because I'm going to turn that to grad and see how it automatically finds it over here in the layers panel. Double click on the T. And I'm going to put grad here. Okay. And then I'm looking for the established 2019. Anytime you're done editing the text, go back to the move tool. It'll get you out of that text editing mode. And then let's go to established 2019. And again, it finds it here in the layers. Let's double click. And maybe this one be established 2023. All right, now you do have some options here. For instance, the way grad is color applying here, it's doing a color blend mode. So you can do a different blend mode. Let's turn off the other colors. You can do a different blend mode like multiply, overlay, or you can also choose to do a levels adjustment. And what the level adjustment does is it changes the mid-tone color so that it more heavily picks up the hue if it is a darker or lighter color based on how you move the mid-tones here. So I want more of that true royal blue, so I'm going to move the mid-tones towards the white a little bit there, and that's perfect. Now this is ready to go. You may want to play around, like I said, with which colors are affecting, like you have your splatter here. Maybe you want your splatter to be blue or black. I think it actually looks better with the white because it adds some contrast here. And also you have options to change the elephant pattern here. You can turn it off altogether. And then you just have your standard color in the background there. So we can make that whatever you want it to be. And this is the overall color back here. Right, this is kind of your half and half color. And this is just something I like to do to add a little visual interest. All right, now what you all will be getting in class is the 13 by 19 version. So let me go ahead and make that up for you right now. So this is pretty much ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and save this. as is, as the all over. And then I'm going to activate this background here, okay? Now, this is basically a 13 by 19 layer mask, but we have some things going on with the foreground that's kind of sticking out from this area. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a layer mask to the foreground, so it's white, and I want to click here on all of this layer mask area, and I'm going to come over to the white layer mask, grab my paintbrush here, and this time I'm actually going to make the brush even larger. Now what I'm going to do, I want black to conceal and white reveals. So white is showing everything right now. I have the inside meat selected from the layer mask. So I want to go to select inverse so I can just have the outside meat selected right now. Now if I go in with the black, and I'm going to make my brush a little bit smaller here. You won't have to do this, this will already be ready for you. But I'm just showing you that sometimes you will want to go in and customize this. Now check this out. As I am deleting, and not really deleting, I'm just masking off some of the image that's showing through here. It's not affecting anything that is inside of this layer mask. It's only affecting the stuff on the outside. And that is on purpose. Okay, so now if I hit Control D to deselect, I have all of my stuff inside of here now. And honestly, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset this mask so that it is a little bit smaller. So y'all get to see my process with that. So I'm actually going to delete this layer mask and delete that layer mask. And I'm going to create a fresh new layer. I'm going to use my paint bucket to fill up with black this area. And I darkened it up a little bit so it'd be a little more opaque. All right, and then I'm going to do the deselect here because I want the darker version of this. And I will Control click here again. Now I have those active pixels. And let's say you don't want like these little pieces missing here from your background. You can actually do something to take those out. So I can go Alt and I can just go inside of the main part of my image where it matters so that we don't have holes like in anybody's face or anything. Oops, my bad, y'all. I'm actually supposed to be holding down Shift here because I want the inside meat. So I'm leaving a couple of these little speckles out here. All right, so now what that's doing is giving me a totally different mask. If I want to see what it looks like, I can turn that off, create a new layer, hit my paintbrush tool here, and now I can see that this inside area is very much darker. Okay, but because we're using it just for the background, I'm going to leave it like it was. All right, so Control here, I'm clicking that. Now, in order to create this the size that I want it, what I'm going to do is deselect for the moment, and I'm going to turn this on, and I want to imagine that this is going to be my 13 by 19 cutoff. So I want to pretty much keep within this text safe area, maybe a little bit bigger than that, and then it just makes more sense. And then I'm also making sure that I keep it centered here. That looks about right. And I'll go a little bit bigger so I can grab a little bit of the top and the bottom here of the design. All right, that's it. And you see that the magenta line pops up when I'm centered. There we are. Hit enter, Control, select those pixels there, turn that off. And now I'm going to my background layer and I will create a layer mask here. I can actually just keep this really, really simple, go to my foreground layer and Alt click and drag that layer mask to the foreground as well. But see how it makes the inside of the photo a little lighter? So on my foreground, I can go to my paintbrush, make sure I have black selected there. Oops, I lied. Make sure I have white selected here because white's going to reveal more. And like I said, sometimes I don't want that washed out look on my foreground, but I do want it on the background. You see how the background looks more like a watercolor, the foreground looks more like a standard photo, and that's the effect I was going for there. So that's going to be our 13 by 19 version. And of course, with the text here, we can make that a little bit larger. I'm going to leave it with congrats grad like this because these are very short words. More than likely, you're going to do longer words, so you're going to need more space. But you can absolutely change those and move those around. And that's it. So what I'm going to do here is take the foreground, background. I'm going to delete that out because y'all don't need that. So this is the art for 220. Now, as it is right now, it's basically more like a 13 by 19 design. I'm going to turn off the layer mask so we can get the all over version of it. Come here, right click, quick export to PNG. And now this will be a printable flattened version of it. It's going to say Art 220, and this will be our variation number 1. Looks like it's taking its little time right now. Okay, so this will be our variation number 1. And then if I also want to save it as the variation with the layer mask, let me give it a little time, stalling a little bit on me. There we go. So if I right click and quick export as PNG here, it will only grab these active pixels. So this one will be more of a 13 by 19 print. So I'll call this one 2. And then what I'm going to do is real quick, I'm going to flip it back to the original. Just so you can see once you get the concept down, you should be able to easily change these out in almost no time. All right, so to change it back to the other, I'm going to go to the photo here. Make sure I'm on my move tool. Let's go to the photo. Let's change that out. We'll go back to our father-daughter image here, which Father's Day is coming up. And if y'all have noticed, our whole goal with this template series and with teaching you Photoshop is to give you tools that you can hit the ground running with. So every time we are putting out templates or we're putting out a Shopify challenge, whatever we're doing is to help you make immediate sales. So if you come every single week, you will be able to have a new addition to your store, something very interesting that your clients will want to see if you come every single week. Okay. Now for this one, for the logo, I'm just going to turn the logo off because we don't need it. But if you were having different logos or you wanted to maybe watermark this, you can come up to the opacity and bring the opacity down, etc. So just giving y'all that little tip there. So I'm going to turn it off for this variation of the design. And let's go ahead and change out our colors here. So I can come to the very top, color number 2. And I showed y'all how to switch it out. But for this one, I'm just going to literally just activate the color that was there before. And you'll see everywhere that the blue was is now that nice, beautiful Tiffany color. And then let's go to color number 1. And we'll reveal the deep teal there. Let's go ahead and hit yes to save. And it looks like we're almost done. Okay. And that's it. So, of course, we have the congrats grad there. If we want to, we can turn off that text, bring back the Daddy's World text, and there we have it. This is pretty much ready to go. So I can right click here, quick export as PNG. And just that quick, y'all, we have 4 different variations of this if the computer wants to cooperate and save this file. Okay, so that'll be version number 3. And then to get version number 4, all we're going to do is deactivate the layer mask by right-clicking and just going to disable. Okay, so we'll disable that one and we'll disable this one. And now we have an all-over version of it. And this is just here for your guidance, but you can turn it off if you want to. It doesn't affect it whenever you export from here because that's not included. It goes here and everything down. So quick export as PNG. This will be our variation number 4. And I really, really loved how this one turned out. This actually used to be one of the original templates for the graduation souls, but I made it a super smart template. And I think I might turn this into a skin pack so you all will have a variation for the Automizer for the graduation pack. Okay, so 220-4. Let's go ahead and save that. And that's all, folks. That's it. Yes, Sonia, VIPs, Platinum VIPs, and Inner Circle Shopify Accelerator may come to class today. So class starts at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The coupon code will be revealed at 4 p.m. So you will be able to, you have to meet this window at 4 p.m. You have to get your coupon code, be able to access your course for free because all the live courses that we do, which is our typical weekly courses, you have access to for free if you're VIP and above. So you'll just use your coupon code, get into the class, and you'll have your stuff downloaded before we start class, have your fonts downloaded, make sure your workspaces are set up correctly. And if it's not, then yes, we're going to tell you that you can't actively participate in class today. You can watch, but we have a free Photoshop orientation class every single Saturday at 11 a.m. And Coach Ann is there making sure that your workspaces are set up. Y'all even create a file from scratch. I give you the components of it, but y'all create a file from scratch with Coach Ann. And this helps you to be ready for the Wednesday and Saturday Photoshop classes, okay? All right. So I will see you all in a few hours, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So at 4 p.m., look out for that coupon code and come on in and step into the room. If you are VIP or you are Platinum VIP, you're in the Shopify Accelerator program or the Inner Circle program, take advantage of this time to have live help when it comes to Photoshop. Okay. And for those of you who are just gurus and you don't need the actual live help, but you still appreciate the templates, thank you all for your continued support. And I love to see what you all do with these every single time. Okay. So I'll see you in class, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love you and I appreciate you dearly. And until next time, bye. Bye.